Welcome, everybody. Hope you're having a great Wednesday night. This is Jeremy from the Lovecraft Tapes podcasts, and tonight we're going to be taking a look at a horror film that we did called Deciduous. And we're going to be providing some commentary tonight. With me is my brother, Bryan.
Specifically said in my rider I needed brown M&Ms.
Brown M&Ms? You got the big jug of them? Big jug
They're
of
all
brown
green.
M&Ms. And Justin is also with me.
I too am here.
With us, I should say.
With us.
With us.
With you.
With
With
us.
us.
We are one.
With
We are
us.
not two. We are one. For those who don't know, this is a film that we made back in about 10 years ago. A little over 10 years ago.
Sorry.
Actually, the genesis began a little over 10 years ago. And we shot this, I think, just about 10 years ago. And when I'll tell you a little backstory of this real quick before we start the watch. There will, just to let you know, we're going to be watching the movie silently so that we, the three of us, can regale you with tales of what was happening behind the scenes and all that sort of thing.
Boy.
Hello to everybody in the chat. I can see Atulia's there. Matt's there. Feel free to jump into the chat either on Twitch or on YouTube, whatever you prefer, and just say hi, howdy. But so what we're going to do tonight, just take a look at this. And what happened was, the short version is, we would, when we lived in Grand Rapids, I hung around a bar and was really friendly with the wait staff. And this one bartender told me the tale of the Dog Man of Michigan, which I'd never heard of, even though I had lived there for decades. Never heard of this thing, but evidently it's an actual cryptid legend about sightings of this dog man, up in the northern parts of Michigan. Hi, Ian. And so I was really super intrigued. I chewed on it. I did some research on it. Then, Justin and I got to talking. Originally, I was just going to write a story or something about the Dog Man, just for funsies. And then he and I just got to talking, and we came up with a rough story over the course of many, many, many drunken nights. And
Only a couple.
yeah. And so I took basically the rest of the summer and fleshed out an actual script, which underwent a few revisions before we settled on what it was. We bought camera equipment. I bought a brand new computer to help me edit the videos. I bought software, all this sorts of things. We enlisted the help of other folks who we'll be getting to here as we watch the movie. But for your edification, Bryan did the special effects and a lot of, gaffer work and that sort of thing for us.
Mm-hmm.
And then Justin did the lens work. He does all the camera work here. So,
And what did you do, Brian or Jeremy?
Jeremy, I directed this, wrote and directed and edited it, but I also was in charge of the sound, which was a big, big mistake. Because
That's
I really
the silent film.
Yeah.
That's why we have a black and white silent film.
I was not qualified to be a sound technician, even though I did a bunch of research and tests and things. I thought I had it nailed, but to be honest, that was the biggest failing. So I will also interject that despite that, we came out with, you can actually hear it, and we'll post the full video with sound so you guys can listen to that or watch it if you want to. And I'm also, Adobe Audition just came out with a really good noise removal system in their latest edition. And I've been monkeying around with it. And I'm like toying with the idea of going back and trying to clean up some of the audio in this, because it would be nice to have a bit more intelligible dialogue when the wind's blowing and so forth. So anyways, so that is that. And so we're just going to be commenting tonight on what you see on the screen. These guys are watching it with me, and and also if you'll see on the screen there, if you like what you see and you feel like dropping us a tip, some beer money, go to ko-fi.com, coffee.com/Lovecraft Tapes, and You could type a little message. You can drop us $1 or $5, whatever you want, and you can type your message. It'll appear on the screen. 500 is fine too. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I'm drinking a beer right now. I'm drinking a
finally
nice,
my royalties.
Yeah, your royalties are kicking in. I'm drinking a nice Stone and Joy Buy for Halloween tonight. So
Nice.
Ooh, very nice.
all right, so we're gonna go ahead and get this rolling. It's only an hour 23 minutes, and yeah. So here we go. All right, so yeah, obviously this is a little black and white opener. That is Ian, our good buddy Ian, who's in the chat. We enlisted to run like a bitch. And so that is me and Justin on either end of a 2x4 with the camera strapped in the middle, chasing him at full speed.
Oh, I was wondering how that was.
Yeah, we borrowed that from the Evil Dead.
Yeah,
that particular.
We decided it was very possible to do, and well, despite having footage here, it was not that easy to do.
No, it was hard. It was hard to actually do it and keep it. So we actually tried to have Ian go a little bit slower.
Yeah,
and we could go a little slower and get a smoother view. So, yeah. So he's clearly tiring out. And I will say, Bryan mentioned before we started playing here or playing the movie here, is that what we don't know is it's like almost 100 degrees outside.
Yes,
because we just
extremely hot.
We just happened to pick the worst or the hottest summer on record in like 20 years or something.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
And then we're like, and Ian, we're gonna need you to fall
and be in full hunting
just
gear.
Fall, run and fall. And then of course that's us jamming a camera in his face, pretending like we're the dog
over and over again.
Yes.
Oh god.
Yep, there we go. You can see all the leaves, all the weeds are dead, because it's so hot.
So
I think we came up with a new camera move at the end there, the way we were swaying it on the 2x4. I don't think they did that for Evil Dead. Just saying.
So this is shot. Where did we shoot this, Jay?
Oh, was it Grand Valley?
Grand Valley. Yep. We shot the original version at Bryan's high school that he had arranged for us, but it turned out so poorly. The footage turned out so poorly that we just could not use it. So we had to scrap it, replan, and head back, and then we used GVSU. Thanks again to Ian and his mom. So
yeah, that was awesome.
They arranged a bunch of stuff for us, as you'll see here later. That's Justin's good buddy Sean Neely, right?
Yeah.
Yep, Sean, and then I've got our old friend Bailey, and then one of my roommates is in the back there.
Nice.
Then John, of course.
Yep, John's our star here, John Crable. He did a very good job for being a first-time actor, I thought.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Yep.
I thought he at least had some high school stuff, but
yeah, that's my handwriting on the blackboard there.
And Sean is killing his scene because he did have theater experience. He was probably our most experienced actor in the room.
He
was
very good.
You see the way he clearly shows you what's on the iPad.
Yeah. Quickly shows like I think he had like a screensaver or something on.
Yeah, there's some static on there.
I was trying to remember what. Did we have something planned for that?
Yeah,
though?
we actually had a picture that we sent to him of a mutated deer, which is the line in the movie. He said something looks like a mutated deer to me. So,
gosh.
And of course, this room is all echoey and stuff.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
We basically shot it in, I think, 4 different takes, right? 4 different setups, Justin?
Yeah.
We did the wide.
The back, the side.
Yep. We had to get up close with him.
Yep.
And then back again with Sean. So basically, we played this scene like 4 to 5 times. It's a sociology urban myth, Atulia. That's the class. You can see it on the background.
Yeah.
Yep. Sociology 491. We just made it up. Makes sense to me. And this is Ian's mom's office that
which
they allowed us to use.
We had to remove a bunch of the paraphernalia around the room because it was like trolls and
it
was like all kinds of funny statue stuff.
And we actually shot this originally, I believe, in our good friend Ivan's office downtown Grand Rapids.
You did.
And
I was there for that.
Yeah, for some reason I don't think we were able to use that, and I'm not sure why.
Right. I forgot. Was it like was it the amount of like light that was coming in,
I
or
think
like
so.
or maybe the
Yeah.
room was too small? I'm trying to remember. There was some kind of I think it was a technical issue.
Yep.
Or deep and dark, scary back then like that.
And there's
just call it HDR, Justin. That's good.
There's my old boss, John. So this is John versus John.
Battle of the Johns.
And John also had theater experience.
Yes.
Although, his delivery was a little... maybe been a little while since
he definitely doesn't forget his line anywhere in here. Line.
Several times. But line. He did a great job, and we appreciate it.
Can I say this, though? Nobody looked at the camera.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on.
I mean, at least not that we're showing.
Well, of course. But...
Except for when John looks here and goes, "Are we done? Are we done?"
Yeah. Exactly.
How many movies have we watched where they keep it in the edit?
After all those movies that we watch on the Migo Mondays, we've seen quite a few where they're just right at the camera, like,
stare right at it, and then they cut to the next scene.
Yeah, we did pretty good on that account.
I was going to say, at the very least, we didn't create a movie that's completely terrible. It's just not terribly exciting, is all.
Yeah,
it's a lot of talking.
It's
a drama.
Yeah. Well, it's that was my mistake because I just wrote this very dry kind of. There's not a whole lot going on. There's a lot of backstory, and it's more like a family drama in a way. Right. And I kind of want it to be a psychological family drama kind of thing.
Yeah.
But anyways, and you see Grand Valley State College right at the back there. I don't think any of us realized it until afterwards. We're like, oh shit.
Yeah, scary clenching going on.
All those people pausing and zooming in and analyzing.
Yeah, closed captioning would say scary closed or clenched fist.
Yeah,
clenching.
John does a very good job of like communicating without words. His grievance or aggravation.
His demeanor is genuine in this scene.
Yep. So you see he's all pissed off. He's browbeaten. All right, so this is a cemetery in downtown Grand Rapids.
Right in my apartment at the time.
And we just went ahead and shot there without anybody's permission.
Nice permits you pulled, I saw.
Yeah, great permits. Yeah.
The actors use their own vehicles, of course.
And this is our star, Lisa Mueller.
Yeah,
who is an actual actress and extremely good.
Several.
I should say actor. Yep, several films. We managed to get her, I think, simply through Justin, right?
Yep.
Friend of a friend.
Yep, because we were doing Wednesday night bar nights, and I think that's where I met her through some other friends. And...
Yep. She's great. She's fantastic.
She's very nice.
The camera loves her, and she just knows exactly what to do.
So our Photoshop job in the background there.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know.
Wait, was that photoshopped?
No, that's none of that's photoshopped. The only thing we got is there's Brian O'Fray.
Oh yeah.
He's playing sort of like, I don't know, the mysterious figure that in our heads was like the ghost of the dog man kind of thing.
Oh.
But it didn't we just had him standing there as an icon or a placeholder. And the plan was to try to do something a little creepy with him, just make him like a shadow or something. So, but you can kind of see his face a little bit.
I think it's kind of like the Indrid Cold of Mothman, or like John Keel, kind of like this figure that's there at the same time.
Right.
Oh, and this was one of my favorite and irritating shots.
Oh yeah. So I think Brian, did you build us the dolly system?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because we were on the
PVCs.
Yes. The PVC steady cam. Yeah.
So Brian built the system that we could use, and we rolled the camera on it, and got a pretty decent dolly here and there if we were very careful. And so we set it up. Yeah.
If you didn't notice, the moon's very, very bright that night.
Yeah,
it's a bright moon.
This is
a little low on the street.
This is a little day for night. And of course, at this time, before we shot this, we didn't realize, but John's a vegan.
Oh,
or he flirted between vegetarianism and going back to meat, but he was all for this, even though he was doing the vegetarian stuff. So he's actually eating the meat or pretending.
I love that shot where you want him reaching and then comes back and she's at the door.
We planned that very carefully. He wipes blood off his mouth from the steak because he's eating it rare. We were trying to impart that, he was sort of like not becoming the dog man, but
obsessed with the
it was sort of like infusing him or something, affecting him in some way.
Mm-hmm.
And then the silhouette, I think, works really well for this.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
We've seen much worse in our Amigo Mondays, Day for Night, as well as...
100%.
I think, is he drinking an Oberon there? I think he's drinking... was it an Oberon?
Was it Oberon in this scene?
Or was it a Two-Hearted?
For that scene, it might have been Oberon.
Later on, we got Diabolical, but yeah.
I was going to bring that up.
Yeah.
The important parts of filmmaking.
Exactly.
What kind of beer was it?
Yes.
So all this ghostly stuff, and
is this day for day or
this is the next morning, and she's pissed off at him, so he obviously slept on the couch.
Yeah.
Then we got he starts to hear a mower in the distance.
Oh yeah.
Fades in, and then he's like, "Oh, guess I better go mow the lawn." So he's out mowing the lawn,
as one does,
and that mower is not actually running, but it worked pretty well.
Yeah.
As a scene. And then his next door neighbor has a pool, evidently, with some kids. And his next door neighbor happens to be his actual brother. So that's Stephen Crable.
Yeah.
Who he enlisted to play this sort of like the home improvement neighbor.
Yeah.
And just kind of querying him about things. And he's sort of like the annoying neighbor next door.
Spur of the moment, he was actually great. He did really well with his lines and everything.
Yep. He did a good job.
Yeah.
So, and this is also just like showing John with his robotic personality. He's just like not very close to people and off in his own world kind of thing. So that contributes to the problems with his wife and also the problems at work. So he's just kind of like, haunted by all this stuff. And again, this is a great shot here.
Oh no!
This is Justin on the ground and lifted up. There we go.
I do remember being right under
now,
that blade.
This is the Oscar-winning shot. We got Justin to do the soft pull there, so that was really nice. Soft focus pull. It's sort of like a deep focus, right, Jay?
Yeah,
we were trying for that. If we had a Citizen Kane duel thing going, that would have been nice. But that was a great shot, I think. A lot. I have no problems with the cinematography. Good. So
no.
What's the moob count? What's the moob count?
The moob count is 2.
And then we forgot that he has tattoos, but then we were like, fuck it. Who cares?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, he was a trooper for all this too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So then he's like taking a shower, and he starts to hear a baby cry in the shower.
I don't think I was using the Steadicam for any of this.
No, for sure.
But it ended up being like a tremor effect. So
a little shaky, but it's meant to be because it's like his emotional breakdown, kind of.
Right.
And just to spoil everything, basically the couple is dealing with an abortion, or not an abortion, a baby that died.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And so it's been a while, and he sort of refuses to even mention it. He's trying to just like, move on, or not move on, just sort of like not wanting to dwell on it. And she wants to move on, and she wants to get their life back together. So that's the tension in these scenes. And he's just withdrawn and depressed, yeah, all that stuff, and pissed off, and this is John's house right here. We had lots of fun. You can see, I think in some of the scenes, you can actually see them almost breaking up. We have a lot of bloopers in this particular scene.
Yeah, didn't they do like them putting their hands over the other one, like hand, like on top of the baseball thing? Like,
and I think also we have to sub out some soy milk or almond milk or something because he can't drink. the whole milk.
Lactose intolerant.
Something weird, yeah. So it was.
It's not weird. It's normal. Shush.
Yeah, it's weird. Fucking weirdo.
It was the
I'm lactose intolerant.
That's what I said, weirdo.
Was the milk alluding to the water, like the rabies?
Well,
is that what that was?
No. The milk is a baby reference, right? Mother's milk.
Oh, right,
that sort of thing. So it's spilled milk, which we're gonna get here in a minute. Yeah, it was just meant to be like she's not motherly, but she's a strong woman character. And incidentally, this was originally written with John being the sort of main character, and because of Lisa's participation and great work ethic, I wrote more and more for her. So she got more and more scenes, and it sort of became her movie. And the ending bears that out for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And here's a couple more dolly shots.
All these doors, you're going to have flies everywhere.
Yeah, some good dolly shots here that are, I like them. They're sort of horror movie shots.
And then we had some fun stuff to deal with. There was like the plane going overhead that we kept on having to stop because the sound was picking it up. And then there's like kids shouting next door, and we wanted to shut up. There's all kinds of stuff going on.
And then, of course, he sees the box full of baby stuff.
Oh, I love that shot.
That's like on top of the garbage, but not really being thrown out yet. Yep, still pushing with that dolly shot. Really nice.
Yeah, it was a trick. It slid pretty well for the most part, but it had like little not little chatter bumps, but it was kind of the way that it would. I think we could have greased it more or something.
Yeah, for sure, greased it up.
We needed to grease the tube.
All right, here we are in downtown Grand Rapids, and we got permission to shoot in Jay Gardella's Tavern, which I guess is no longer there. Closed down. Oh. Yep.
Okay.
There it is right there.
Many happy Wednesdays there.
Yep. We were able to secure before they opened in the morning. While they were cleaning up,
she's trying not to drink, right?
That's it. She's a recovered alcoholic, which we're not explicit about. We just want to make this scene is meant to display that fact. She's fighting it. Something wants to make her go, but maybe not.
Johnny Walker's calling.
And then boom, and here comes the big cameo.
Oh yeah, here it is.
Oh, there's Justin's arm.
That shit.
And
turn that power on.
Yeah, and here's some fruit juice for you. That's surely wine.
Just like every other time I've tried to give someone a drink, that's usually the expression.
Exactly.
What'd you put in it?
Right. Why is it fizzing?
And then she just slugs it down. Look. One shot. Does a really good job.
And again, the natural light worked out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that worked out.
I think that was one take, yeah.
Yeah.
I just love the fans, the ceiling fans lazily rotating,
There's nobody there. She's so alone.
Yeah.
So isolated.
Yeah.
Great. Very still.
And then we got some beautiful Chinese food that she's wolfing
Those are
down.
maggots.
And he's just struggling with. They're maggots, Michael.
Right.
So we have Glen Lyon wine on the table, and also North Peak's Diabolical, which is a Dogman beer. They actually designed the label with the Dogman because they knew about the myth, and I never heard of it.
Myth.
Myth. It's real. It's fucking real. Dude.
It's real.
Is this at your place?
No, this is at John's again. This is the old dining room. And yeah.
I recall we had some issues during this scene as well.
We had to move the dog bowl.
Yeah. I think we had some people conflict going on.
Yeah. I think there was wasn't there the dog was barking and shit going on?
Oh, that might have been what it was. Yeah, it made things a little short.
Yeah, we had to kind of rush through a little bit, but I think this scene in particular pans out pretty nice.
Yeah, for sure.
She's giving it her all here, and John's doing a pretty good job too.
I think his demeanor in general really kind of helps. Like that's just kind of who he is anyways. Like not grouchy necessarily, but like he's just very he can kind of be stone cold faced.
Yeah.
Like just
and you can see now she's completely off the wagon. She's like slugging down wine. And this is actually Joel Bush's house. We're in Joel's basement and his study downstairs. I don't know if we can see anything up there that has his name on it. I don't think the resolution's that good. So, but we had this nice little scene. So they let us use this basement for just this one scene, which was really nice. It worked out perfect.
Oh yeah, we had I think I've got a ladder shot in here somewhere.
I think they're drinking out of Spartan mugs. Maybe there's a lot of green and white here for sure.
Weird coincidence.
Yeah, weird. Joel and Spartan.
I don't know anybody who knows or likes anything from MSU.
So this one was. I almost left this out, but there's a nice little phone call at the I think at the tail end of this that sort of sets up the fact that John's character is chasing the dog man myth and is looking for like anything because he has to get the funding. He's actually trying to get a movie made and based on the dog man thing, and of course the administrator's breathing down his neck.
For another book, right?
Yeah, for another book, I think it is. Okay, so this is controversial. So we have John in bed.
Oh, that creepy hand.
Yes, and we had Lisa hiding behind him. And this was the big seductive scene because she desperately wants to reconnect to the marriage. Yeah. And this is actually John and Rachel's bedroom.
Nothing awkward about that.
And I think, doesn't she say something like "fuck me"?
Yeah. I think those are the words. Yeah.
And I overplanted these little I don't know what you call it, subliminal things, because the lighting did not work out well for some of the other scenes that we tried. This isn't too bad, but it's quite dark, but it's enough that you can see what's going on. So she's frustrated. But it was touchy because John wasn't super comfortable. There we got a nice puking scene. Trigger warning, puke.
Too late.
Yeah, John's not feeling so good after John's character is not feeling so good after the come on. And but anyway, so yeah, John wasn't crazy, but he ended up doing it because we needed the shot, and it was sort of like we needed this connection between the two, and we couldn't figure out any other way to do it.
Or the lack of connection, yeah.
And I feel like we designed a pretty good shot there with her hiding behind him. I just felt like it worked out nice.
And what was it that we put in the toilet for his puke? It was a can of
Campbell's soup or something. It was like vegetable soup.
The Timor beef stew.
Yeah. And he just put it in his mouth and then let it out. And it looks pretty fucking good.
Yeah, actually.
So, and of course, this is him getting his in any good Lovecraft movie, you want the main character to be doing all the library research. So I love movies where the person suddenly becomes the detective, and it's like, this one detail that I overlooked last time.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah, and so he finds this old contact, and he calls him up, and I think it's me. It's actually me.
Yep,
I'm right next to him, actually, reading the lines to him.
Oh yeah.
Right, and then later on I recorded them so they sound a little creepy. But I'm actually feeding him the lines as the recipient on the other end.
Which then you dubbed over with a fun effect.
Yeah, I sound like hey, what are you gonna do? Yeah.
Yeah. You're all gonna die.
You're all gonna die. And then of course again with the dolly shots. Had nice long dolly shots here. Back and forth. And it gets a little much because you go back and forth like so many times, it gets a little annoying, I think.
Yeah, it was. The first time I think we watched it was definitely, you picked up on it pretty quick. You're like, okay, now we're going back this way.
And I think part of the problem is that we didn't have enough coverage of shots to sort of like, cut to this while he's talking about this. Like we only had the one lines that he had to hit. Yeah. And side note, I have that photo in my basement right now.
Oh.
Yeah, it's still there. I have a bunch of stuff from the movie, and I came across it when I was cleaning up about a month or two ago, and I was like, "Oh shit, here's Lisa."
Do you still have the cardboard cutouts of all of us?
Of what?
Of all of us?
What's that?
From the movie.
From the premiere?
No, I don't. But I still do have the footprint. It's 2x4 that Bryan made.
Oh, nice.
Do you?
Yep. And I still have the Steadicam that's in the shed.
Nice.
Yep. Probably one of the better things we ever made.
I actually kept the puke from the toilet.
Because it fucking works, man. Yeah.
It's in a jar.
And of course, with any expository scene, this just takes forever. In my opinion, I'm like, it's interesting to hear, and I like the sort of mystery because it deepens the mystery and makes it somewhat supernatural, but also is historical. There's some historical references to it, but it just kind of like goes on. I mean, it's a little tedious. So
there's the ladder shot where I had to go all the way to the top of a short ladder and then crouch because the ceiling was very low.
Yes.
It's a very awkward angle.
Yep.
Inspiration.
Yeah, so there we go. And then we're back in. So now John's character is a bit enlivened because he's found some new information. And he's like, I'm going to go out in the woods and I'm going to find the dog man. I'm like, yeah, sure you are, buddy.
And Sean is actually playing the son of the
dean.
The dean, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he has kind of pressure right in his face that he needs to come through with this.
Yep.
Or he's going to lose his tenure. Was that what it was?
Yeah, 10 years up for grabs. Yep. Because everybody thought he was the star. There's Bailey with her one line.
The very accurate drawing of Michigan.
Yes, which I think, did I do that? Or I think I had someone do it, didn't I?
I can't remember.
One of the other gals or something in there. Like I was like, go draw Michigan.
Or else.
And then up here is where the stuff goes, the red zone. I don't know.
Yeah, it's been seen here.
And that's the big reveal too, which is hilarious. Like, I'm gonna put up the I'm gonna put up the screen and ta-da!
Half of Michigan.
So silly.
Biblically accurate Michigan. Nice.
100%.
Oh, gosh.
All right. So yeah, and then here's the big sort of face-to-face tay-tay.
The entitlement.
Yup.
This is basically like, kind of like, I know your dad's fucking around with you kind of thing. And he doesn't like his dad. I think doesn't he say like, why don't you go spy on your dad for me or something like that? I forget what it is. But.
Yeah, and then Sean comes back with some quip about like not liking him anyways.
Yeah, he's kind of a dick. Whatever. My dad's kind of a dick. Yeah, that's what it is.
And I recall them having a staring contest and making it really awkward. Times.
You'll see here in just a moment. We actually made them look at each other without laughing or try, and they just broke up like 5 or 6 times. And I was like, okay, let's go again. Let's go again.
It was surprisingly difficult to have them keep a straight face for this.
They were having a rough time with it, and I was plenty happy to make them pay. Yeah, it was
definitely fun though.
Particularly Sean there, poor little guy. Poor little guy, Shawnee Bear.
He reminds me of Max from.
So here we go. Steps up and is like, what if I gave you a 4-point? Huh? How would that be? There's a little kind of a creepy, pervy kind of thing going on here, which it wasn't intended, but here we go. So they're gonna look at each other. Try not to laugh. Try not to laugh. Shit. And then, of course, now the tables are turned. We've got the superintendent, the administrator coming in again to the office. And this time, John has the upper hand. He does have the Dogman in Michigan book that I bought sitting on the table there. Yep. And now they kind of go back and forth, and John's like, "What the fuck?" Yeah. So
with a very cheery background, the big red flower.
Yeah, big red flower and the sun coming in nice and shiny. But this worked for the scene because it's him sort of having, the depression or whatever is lifted and
rejuvenated.
Yep. Yeah, rejuvenated. And like That was such a weird shot, but we had to do it, right? You got the window, and we wrote it in the script that he looks out the window and like basically pontificates about what's going to be happening. And
he's not scared of the threats anymore or any of that. So he's like,
but we needed that shot of like him getting up, and it's just a weird shot because there's wide open window on the right, and he moves into it, but it's just the camera doesn't move. It's just kind of odd.
Yeah, it looks like we almost intentionally cut out John from sitting down, like it was like we had to do that or something. It was
we had no idea. Yeah, all right, we had no choice actually. And the room, you only had so much room to maneuver in this office, so we did what we could, and I think it works out. It is a little claustrophobic, I think.
Yeah, it's long and narrow. That's good though for the scene, the claustrophobic, because they're at each other.
Yeah, you got the depth.
But it wasn't really long enough to do any long pulls or anything like that. Like that's the awkwardness of filming. I never would have guessed is just space. Like how
many times did she water the plants?
Quite a few. You could see all the water there. Yeah, I think we had a couple things, but she never needed more like 1 or 2 takes. So
of course not.
And of course, this is late in the day, so we're getting that harsh sun on this side in particular. And we had real problems with the reflection in the truck. I believe I managed to cut out all of our reflections, Justin sitting there with a camera on the tripod.
No pants.
Yeah. You might be able to glimpse something somewhere, but I think we were damn good about it. Or at least my cuts were damn good.
Yeah, I recall like definitely being very strategic about this.
Yeah. And there's kids playing in the background.
And then the plane again, I think was going by. Like there's just a lot of stuff that happened that day. That was just in terms of noise, just like
And we got close up on her, but he's sort of a little bit further away. And the reason we did that so that when he moves towards her, it's sort of like, them coming together as a couple again.
Yeah.
Like we're going to go on this trip together.
She's realizing he's trying at least. Doesn't know how selfish shit is yet.
Right. And he's so super chipper too.
Yep.
This is like me talking to my wife about.
There you go. So you get him moving in and come on, baby.
Baby.
Let's go camping. What do you say? Let's go camping. I got a Coleman lantern.
That's all we need.
That's all we need, baby. So he opens the door, and I cut right before you see Justin.
Yes.
All right.
I do recall that.
There you go. There's the Oberon.
So
you got Michigan beer. Yep. And actually, this whole scene works out pretty nicely because I think Justin did a great job of focusing, keeping the background soft. And we have everything looks sort of nicely lit, soft. It's just it's actually the best looking scene we have, I think.
Yeah,
because it looks like an actual movie.
That's the fun of shooting with a DSLR.
Yeah. And then we did so those sort of insets where he's pointing at shit, and it gets a little tedious because he's trying to tell the story of like the migration of the dog, all the different sightings, and where they're going to go to find the next sighting because there's a pattern. He's describing the pattern, and I think we did a good job of telling that, but there's some awkwardness in the actual pointing and like trying to,
and she's picking up on it's not for them, it's for him.
Well, yeah, she's kind of like, she's sort of still thinking about it as an adventure kind of thing.
Yeah.
And she's kind of actually curious. He is convincing her, and she becomes convinced that the pattern that he is seeing is actually real. And so she's like, what the fuck? You're right. And so like now he's got her on board and let's go camping. And so I don't think I have that map anymore. I think we actually destroyed it somehow. It got ripped up.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. But I just love this. And I know John had a real rough problem with memorizing these particular lines.
There's a lot.
He's got a lot. He's saying a lot. But
he's got a great camera presence, though.
Yeah, I think so. She is a great partner to act with, I think, because she's so giving and, It feels authentic. Yeah, she's just great. I can't say enough good things about her.
There's the map.
There's the map again. There it is. Yeah, it's, we tried our best.
We should have had Dora in the back.
Yeah. I should have like a CGI map or something. Like the lawnmower man going on.
If you could actually hear the sound, it's 10 minutes of him saying, say backpack.
Backpack. So Justin, tell us about sitting in the back of this truck here.
Well, I can tell you, sitting in the back of this truck on a very bumpy road, trying to keep still and out of the mirror, which I wasn't even considering beforehand. This was a trick.
Yeah, we had to we basically had to try to get him to slow down so that it wouldn't be as bumpy. We had no way to do like some sort of stabilization. It was simply Justin in the back trying his best to keep things steady.
You were in there for sound, like in front of me.
I was in there. Yep. And of course we had to do all of these. We did the 3 takes, right? So we did the full scene from the back, then we did it from his angle, then from her angle. And I think we had more written, but it just didn't work out. So we
I think we had to cut a bit here.
Yeah.
Did you guys go back every time and start at the same spot?
No, we did not worry about the road. No, we just picked a stretch of road. And this is actually where we lose a whole scene because of a wardrobe malfunction.
No.
John put on the wrong shirt. And we did the whole thing, never realizing.
Oh, yeah.
And then there was simply no way to use it. Absolutely no way to use the footage. So I cut out a complete scene of them doing or walking around the farmhouse.
Oh, I remember that.
And maybe it helps because we just get straight to the campsite, and so we don't monkey around with them. I forget, there was like some weird thing that happened at the farmhouse as they're wandering around. But now we get to Bryan.
This is actually a Jeep commercial.
And Bryan, tell us what we're seeing.
That was a blurry blob.
But what kind of blurry blob was it, Bryan?
It was what is the name of that? It was a stuffed dog that I doctored to look like a hit.
Yep. There it is.
Dog that was hit by a car.
And the best thing we could come up with is throwing it in front of the car.
Yeah. It was a life-size doll from Doug and Melissa. The company Doug and Melissa.
and this is supposed to be a puppy. In the script, it's a puppy that runs out in front of their vehicle and gets run over. And this is meant to be symbolic of not only the baby that they lost,
right,
but the dog man's baby, sort of. And that's not a puppy.
No.
It's a big puppy.
That's a dog.
A full-grown dog. I didn't know it was supposed to be a puppy.
Yeah.
That was a very humorous scene.
Yep. There's a Arcadia beer bottle, I think, that we threw out to indicate that people came here partying, kids mostly, that this was like a little campsite out in the middle of these backwoods.
Which was a really great clearing. Like, this was a great spot to shoot.
Yeah.
Just
it worked
if it weren't for the weather that weekend.
It was hot, but we made do, I don't think Bryan and I got any sleep that night. We stayed over.
No, especially with the coyotes. Those were creepy.
Yeah. This is them just surveying the campground and her talking a little bit about like what does he expect to be finding out here, and blah blah blah. But the location's quite nice. And I think we did the best we could with the limited parcels of land that we were able to shoot on, because there were only so many places we really could go and have the people move without totally getting in the weeds. And we had lots of tick problems. We were all deeded up. I went out and bought like shit tons of water. We had coolers of water. We just tried to make it as comfortable for these guys as possible, but it's blazing hot out there.
I don't remember the mosquitoes being too bad. Were they bad?
Not terribly. I think it was
Yeah.
almost too hot for them, to be honest.
I
Because
think so.
it
Yeah,
hadn't
maybe that's why.
it hadn't rained in like 2 or
Meyer
3
cookies
weeks.
or Bush's cookies.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. So and that is Ian's. I think Ian's dad's truck.
Yes.
I think that's what it was. And I accidentally backed into a bush or something, a shrub.
It was like a tree trunk that was down.
Yeah, it was it was because it was just a not a tree trunk, but it was like just a little like a bush that had really stiff broken limbs, and one of them hit the taillight and popped out the taillight.
Oh,
Yep.
And Ian's dad was very cool about all that. Trina's dad, sorry, Trina's dad.
That's good.
Yeah. But very cool about the whole thing. Sorry, Ian, I couldn't quite remember. But
so in the tent, it's about 140 degrees.
Yeah, I was about to say.
What's odd is it was actually not too bad. We had the back thing open, the back flap.
Oh, that's right. You just couldn't tell because of the shot because it was so bright out.
Well, because of the shade, it was actually okay. And again, now we have another sex scene. And here they
was
are,
great.
Post-coitus, with their clothes still on. We wrote it with them being naked and so forth, but at this point, we're not gonna make them go that route. Particularly like if you're a married couple, then maybe you could get after it with pretty quick like this. Zip. All right, now we got the hatchet out, and we inserted a scream here.
Yeah.
And she hears the scream. And then he comes in and says,
"Here's Johnny."
Here's Johnny. Yeah, it is a here's Johnny moment. Yeah. But he says, who wants rabbit for lunch?
Yeah.
So they got rabbit. So this is a rabbit I purchased at a market in Grand Rapids, already beheaded and trimmed and all that stuff.
Of course.
And we actually, we pre-cooked it at home. My wife did. And then we brought it out here, and it was sort of like lukewarm cold. Again, he is fully game because he's vegetarian at this point. And I told him, I said, you could just put it in your mouth and then spit it out, or just pretend to eat it. But he actually went the whole 9 yards and ate a little piece of it. I happen to love rabbit as a food. It's pretty good. But yeah, these guys were game about this whole thing. And now he's laying out the sort of the plan for the day. Where they're going to get, what kind of evidence does he want to get? And she's being playful and, trying to be supportive and everything. But yeah.
Did you have a cell phone issue at some point during this?
Probably.
There's like either sounds or something, or like, why is that out? Like, why is this happening? Like, we had to put them away or something.
Yeah. I think overall we did a good, look at the composition here. You got the truck in the background, the tent, like it all sort of makes sense. It's what you call diegetic, film term. Like it all sort of makes sense in this world. And
makes change.
Yeah. And so we had some light issues, you can see.
It was a very the clouds were moving very frequently.
Yep,
and very fast.
frequently fast. Yep.
Bright, dark, bright, dark, bright, dark. And there wasn't any way to work around it, really.
Yep. Yeah, we had to shoot because we had like, God, I don't know how many setups. We were out there for 2 days, and we were out there for 2 weekends, right? We stayed one weekend. Yep. I think the next weekend we didn't have to stay or something. I forget.
Yeah, I think that's what happened.
Yeah, that's right. Because I was planning to come out for the second to do any pickups, and we didn't need any.
Yeah. No, you left early at some point because you had who is it? Ivan's brother take over for help in special effects. Yeah.
Yep.
We've got these guys are getting ready to do a thing, and then they're basically going to stay the night. And this is where things sort of get to begin to be weird for her character. She begins to start seeing things and beyond rational explanation. But first they're going to head on out and see what's out there in the woods. And I think, were these their own packs, I think? Or
I think
we borrowed them from somebody. I forget.
I thought they belonged to just like maybe just one of them.
That could
Maybe they
be.
both. I think
Maybe,
something like
maybe Lisa, like she came equipped with a bunch of stuff. Did a good job.
that.
And we
Light
got
dark,
a
light
flashlight. Yeah, I know. So we got the sun, no sun. We were worried we were going to get some rain, but it just never materialized, which was nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is some inconsistent lighting going on here.
Well, it's clouds. You can't control those.
And then, I'm very pleased with how the interior of the woods looks. We have this one patch of ground that we shot many, many scenes on from reverse to try to make it look different, to make it seem as if they're going in different directions through, but it's always sort of the same patch of woods.
It really wasn't that long of a stretch.
No.
Like, it was very short.
And but I just love the greenery. It just drinks it up. It's so saturated. And these guys do a good job of trying to ignore the planes going on overhead.
Yep. Stop, go.
Which factor prominently in the sound mix. So I don't think there's any way to get rid of that crap.
I think these were the parts where I was holding all the branches back.
Probably, yeah, for sure at some point. Bryan made a lot of stuff for us. He made, as you'll see soon here, some footprint makers, some bat houses, some webs. We did the webs. You're gonna love this.
Oh, that was fun.
The webs are sweet.
Yeah. I actually love the scenes that we shot with the webs, but we were unable to use because of the way it needed to be cut. It doesn't always work out. So let's see what we got. This is
the start.
Yep, this is the start of the stuff. That's a weird angle there. Okay, so here we go. Here's Bryan with his first big special effect, and second maybe, I guess, not including the puppy.
Yeah, a full-grown dog.
Yeah,
it's a full-grown dog.
Full-grown dog puppy. So this is a possum. They find a possum.
Oh, possum.
There you go.
Pokey.
So Bryan,
looks awesome.
None of that is real. Just so everybody knows.
Yep, it's a fake. Everything's fake.
Pipe insulation from Home Depot with some fake blood.
Later, John had to eat that too.
No,
we made him. It's vegan. Do it.
It just looks really good. And John does a very good job of selling it once he starts to put it in the bag here, as you'll see. And of course, she's selling the disgust. She's like, I gotta hold the bag too.
Yeah.
Oh,
she's awesome.
Yeah, she's not happy about this at
all. Did you put
all.
fly sounds around it?
Look at this. Yep. That's gross.
All dismembered. It was a dismembered.
Yeah. And so the plot point here is that evidently the dog man likes certain things, and they're going to try to use the possum as bait to try to get him to come closer and get photographic evidence. That's the whole crux of this thing.
I forgot, was I steady camming this or was this tripod? I think I did a mix.
I think this is Steadicam.
Yeah, Bryan built PVC?
Yep.
PVC with weights.
With a counterweight.
Was it PVC or aluminum, Bryan? Because it feels like it's aluminum. Maybe you just painted it aluminum.
I did.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's what it was.
It worked. Like once we got used to it, I think Jay had some issues like just trying to get used to it. And I was like, Jay, just trust in the Lord. and I say at the end of it, like it looks amazing. Like it handles amazing. It still does handle too. Great. And it looks good. Although some of this, it's hard for me to tell whether I think it's a tripod because it's too still.
Yeah,
I think it's when we were chasing them and following them, that's when it becomes the Steadicam.
I believe this was tripod because I remember holding the branches all back so you guys could set it up.
Yeah.
Because there were so many little tiny pokies all over the place.
Yeah. And there's like gnats and all kinds of junk.
Poor John is feeling the sun. This is like getting a little later.
Yeah.
Long day of shooting. Sandwich.
Yeah.
The bread was so dry by the end of the shoot.
I think he's actually got a little sunburn there.
Yeah.
A couple Miller Lights because you're
Ooh.
camping. So
Michigan beer.
there you go. Terrible beer.
Mm.
I remember being very hungry at this point.
Is that
Yes.
right?
It was a long day.
Yeah.
I think
by
we
the time
ate
we got
some of
here.
those sandwiches.
We did.
Yeah, we did.
We
did.
were like, let's just eat it.
Yeah.
No, I bought extras for us. I don't think John actually eats it because it's got meat in it, but maybe not. He's going to go for it anyways. Yum, 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 yum.
Yum, yum.
Nom, nom, nom.
And I forget, were they hearing things in the woods?
Yep, there's like
Yeah.
snapping things. And he's like, no, just a squirrel. Don't sweat it. Just a squirrel.
Mm-hmm.
She's
worry,
like,
just dog, man.
sure.
200-pound squirrel.
Of course, she's hitting the beers pretty good here.
Mm-hmm. Go
He's
to the bathroom.
He's like, I'm going to go. I got some urine,
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
right?
Mm.
Yes.
Because it's
Yeah,
like
jar.
it's supposed to attract the possums or something. I forget what it was. And like he's got a
I'll
bag
smell
full
it.
of possums that he's been collecting. And she's like,
Mhm.
nope, you go ahead. I'm going to stay here, drink my Miller Lite.
Piss and possums.
Yep. There's our blazing campfire.
Which we barely ever got.
There's your
feedback.
steady
were
cam
like-
shot, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's what it is. Yep.
And it's nice. It's a floaty. I just love it because it's like, she's very on edge, and it sort of mirrors that. No pun intended, as you'll see here in a minute. But
Oh, yeah.
like here, look at this.
Yeah.
That's a fucking professional shot right there.
That looks great. Definitely holds up.
Yeah, it looks great. This is a 1080p, so nothing too crazy. The
Do a lot of
DSLR that I bought, did its job, and Justin did his
Yep.
job, and all
With
good.
a kit lens, too.
Yeah. And so the whole upshot here was she heard like this tink, and it's like a broken piece of mirror. But you can see the mirror is completely intact.
Yeah.
Now, what I was supposed to do there is that was just a shot to sort of as a placeholder. We were supposed to go back and shoot something with a broken piece out of another mirror that she looks at, or that somebody looks at. And we just never got around to it.
I thought she was losing her mind.
Well, that's sort of like, I was hoping like that might be the case, that people see that, but boo. And, but yeah, honestly, it was supposed to be like a little piece of mirror. Like she heard something go tink, and you actually hear it on the soundtrack.
Right.
Like a piece of the mirror. And she's like, well, how
That
the
could have
fuck
been in
did
her
that
head, though.
happen? Yeah, well, for sure. But
Justin, go
beautiful
shoot some
shot.
B-roll.
yeah, go shoot
I
B-roll,
love
Jay.
that, though. It was a good view from there.
This is like, they're tired. They want to get to bed, even though it's full blazing daylight out.
It was a great site, though.
Yeah.
It was.
That location. It was really nice.
So here we are. I think we're actually shooting night. This is not day for
Yes.
night. This is actual night for night.
This is when it got very frustrating.
Yep. So we did our best to try to get as much detail as possible in these scenes.
Yeah.
And
I think we had two little like desk light, or not desk lights, but
little kick lights.
little LEDs that we
Yep.
had kind of coming from the side.
Yep. And I also applied some color correcting in post to try to boost it, and and I think this is also Twilight. We're actually losing light very quickly here,
Yeah, it goes
Yes.
quick.
right? And so you'll see actually this is shot in sequence, I believe. So she grabs the thing, toilet paper.
Yes.
She has to take a pee, is what it is. So she
Flashlight,
you know,
TP.
he's sleeping.
And by the time we get to the next scene, it's like,
Yep, you'll see.
Wah.
So it's like
She also goes into the woods, so that kind of
Yes,
works.
It does kind of work, right?
You
She
know,
goes into the
where it
woods
gets dark.
slightly. Yep. And okay, so then and we wanted the flashlight to show. So this actually sort of works nice.
Yeah.
And she's
It's an
wearing a
okay-
good shirt.
Okay,
So she
transition.
pees, and I, in the script I insert a shot of pee hitting the ground. I'm glad we never shot that.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought that would be a good idea. And then of course she hears a sound, And she sort of freaks out, but we can't see shit because it's so dang dark
Mhm.
at this point. But yeah, there you go. And she stands up and then runs back. And we got lightning bug there. Did you see that?
Yeah,
Oh,
that was
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, we got caught a lightning bug, which is nice.
Nice little flutter.
And of course, the next morning. And I would say, like, from here on out, it's almost, you know, her character's point of view. Like, we
Yeah.
sort of shift to where it's mostly her.
Hmm.
I don't know if it works very well, but I kind of like it because that was the sort of intention.
Because he's lost it. He's gone. He's unsalvageable.
Yeah. I always saw him as like the Harrison Ford of the Mosquito Coast character.
Mm.
Just that professor who was too obsessed with, you know, whatever it was.
Mhm.
And she's like, yeah, coffee.
That night was it that night you shot or this night? Because we shot Friday night and Saturday night, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
One of the nights, Justin, we were messing around after filming and did a bunch of shots, photos in front of like the headlights of the truck and stuff. That was fun.
Yeah, that was great. I think we actually had a fire that night.
We did, yeah. We wanted to be careful the other times because it was so dry.
Oh gosh,
Right.
yeah, we had to be very
That's what it
careful.
was.
And that's why it's always smoldering. And there's not really any flames because we needed to make sure nothing would happen.
No, I am not an R. Kelly fan, Ian.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, they're just prepping for the day here as characters.
And it's breaking down a little bit too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like between them.
And then he brought the well, actually here he's like, I got the croissants.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they're still trying to be romantic and coupley kind of thing. So we haven't broken down entirely. I don't think it actually breaks down entirely until Are You There? I think
Mhm.
that's the sequence where he's definitely gone into Wonderland.
They do a lot of eating in this movie.
Yeah, there's a lot of eating. I don't, you know.
I guess I didn't realize that.
Well, it's
That's
you know,
Jeremy's fetish.
right. It's you know, without actual action, you know, and I like to give a little explication, that sort of thing.
Well, it's nice as an actor to have a prop that you
Right.
can interact with easily.
Okay, then we got another. I think it's the same.
Oh yeah, I did make two.
Maybe the
Right,
same
I had
guy.
two. Yeah.
Okay, and then here we go. There's the footprint. So Bryan made an imprint. What would you say, Brian? Like what kind of wood was that? Plywood?
It was on a piece of plywood, but then I put raised pieces in the shape underneath so
Yeah.
they dig into the dirt easier.
Yeah, and put that on a 2x4 so that we could
Mhm.
press it down onto
Yeah.
the earth. So we had to kind of wet the earth and put that. It doesn't pan out that great because it's just hard to capture.
Yeah.
Without being.
And it was so dry.
But
out
there you
there,
go.
too.
That's decent, right?
Yeah.
You get I went around and I think it was me at this point, and just
Yeah, I wasn't there for it because I had to
Yeah.
go when you were shooting this spot.
Yep.
So-
I cleared out little spots where I thought the dog man would walk, and then I pressed that thing down with some water, and we got it done. And
he's like figuring it out. What the hell is that?
well, he's like the possum that I had here is now gone. So
Yeah.
and then she is figuring out that you know, back there it was 4 legs. Over here
Uh-huh.
it's 2 feet. So
Right.
what's different about that? So then, like here, he's walking upright like a man. Is the line? So that's when they realize, like, yep, it's not just a wolf or something. It's actually the dog man who is out here with them on this small patch of forest that we are shooting on. That's only about 50 yards long,
Yeah. If that. Yeah.
Mhm. But I like this. Like they're both like, shit, what did we get
What is
ourselves
that over
into? Yeah. But then he's like, well, I got to get some photos of the footprint. Tick-a-deep. And there's your footprint.
Beep.
There's some dirt.
Oh, there's
And
the
here I
dirt.
am
Yeah,
in Disney
there it is.
World. And here I am.
Yeah. Here's my kids. Too
Yeah.
soon.
Here's my dead kid. Oh shit. And yeah, so they're just basically comparing notes and trying to strategize a little bit. And I think now she's really getting to be a little, uneasy with this whole spiel. And now we got blazing sun.
And the sun's back out.
And the sun, and you're getting a sunburn.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody walked away with poison ivy though, which was good
No,
for how much
no,
we
no,
walked
no.
around in those woods.
I don't think so. I don't think I don't
Look at
think
that
anybody
ground.
Bugs weren't too bad. The no poison ivy. It
I
wasn't
had
spider webs.
I
but-
found a tick or two on my clothing when I got home, but beyond that, I never got bit or anything. Oh, here, Jay, here's the lens I bought. So they find a robin's egg that had fallen from the nest. Again, a metaphor or symbolic of the baby that they lost. And she's like, how dare you be so callous? But I bought this lens because it was sort of like a Dario Argento lens. And I really wanted to use it. I forced Justin to use it for this particular scene. And now we get the bat houses and the spider web.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
And there's a bat in the spider web.
Those were freeze-dried bats, by the way.
And that whole scene, I didn't have much to work with, so it takes place much more quickly than I intended.
Multiple shots of the same trees.
Yeah, these are the same trees, just going backwards. But Bryan built all those bat houses.
The spider webs were just a spray gun hooked to a compressor with glue sticks, a hot glue gun that sprays spider webs.
It worked out really nice. Like
it's really good.
She sells it. It's really good.
It's got a nice pull to it. Like it stays together well enough.
Yeah.
So we got
and
bats
doesn't look
and spiders.
though.
I still have that gun too. It works great.
Now he's all pissed off. And he's like explaining that the dog man, that's the whole pattern, that he actually eats bats. Or drinks the blood from, I don't know. He feasts on bats, so he actually goes to along with the migration of the bats. That's the sort of upshot. And she's like, fuck you. I got a bottle of wine. I'll see you later. And then zip. No entrance, buddy. You're shut out.
Warm wine and go into the warm tent.
Yeah. So then his character goes back to that same patch of woods. And wanders and wanders and wanders, just from a different angle, mind you. And then, of course, he stumbles upon, what is this? What's this?
Poison
What's this? There's something in the... it's that same goddamn possum. But, but something catches his attention. So I forget how we did this.
I was wondering, too, because I don't think I was there for that part.
I think we had something that we could use with a flashlight, and we just sort of like
flashlight and
something spinning.
Tags.
Yeah. So now we got blank dog tags hanging in front of this doghouse that Bryan built,
which also looks amazing.
Yep, that's an actual sort of fairy tale doghouse.
Yeah,
that Bryan built, that we left out there at the end of the film.
Oh, you did? I was wondering.
Yeah,
because it all folded up. It was all hinged and folded down to fit flat.
Yeah, there was no way to get it out of there. And
but you know the rule. You have to give something back, Bryan.
Exactly.
I guess.
And so he goes into the doghouse inexplicably. Actually, he hears something, or he sort of thinks he does. And we get that iconic line, is it you?
Is it you?
Is it you? So this was meant to be his transformation into the dog man, but it's not really. It's just sort of like a transitional period in the movie. No, I believe the doghouse was collapsed before we left.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
it was all disposable Luan, so it would have biodegraded anyway.
But yep. So we left it out there in the woods someplace, and
the hinges are still there to this day.
The hinges are still haunting 10 years later. So then he comes out, he's all freaked out because he went to the doghouse, but he doesn't remember shit. And then kabloom. Oh.
She just goes back and zips the tent down.
Yeah. So then we have the reverse shot now of like him waking up,
Mhm.
which is nice. I like that symmetry. And she is sort of like not creepy, but she calls him like baby or something, right?
Mhm.
Oh,
She
yeah.
has something to take care of.
Yeah, there is, but is he dreaming it? What's going on? You know, so there's some odd stuff going. This is where we're fully in dreamland now.
I forgot that we did that transition.
Yeah. And now he is like freaking out. He's all kind of weirded, acting strange. And she's like, am I dreaming? Am I not dreaming? And this was a hard shot because we had to leave that tent flap all the way open, which was
Right.
unnatural because
Right.
that's not what you do in a tent.
Right.
And if you look closely, you'll see my novel back there as one of the books that she was reading.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
I used one of my books. And of course, she's wearing a red shirt because, you know, it's Star Trek.
Uh-huh.
Oh, gosh.
Red shirt. I think we actually did that, Jay, on purpose.
Was
like,
that on purpose?
I
Yeah,
think
couldn't
it was to show that she was sort of like on the other side kind of thing. But, you know, again, it's all ephemeral baloney stuff. And he's sort of like, not comatose, but just very unresponsive. He has these scrapes on his face. They're supposed to be scrapes.
Mhm.
I think this was also a Luke thing, not a Bryan thing. I was like, Luke, give him scratches on his face. What? So we did the best we could. But it's supposed to be like he got attacked by the dog man.
Right.
And now he's like freaking out, and the sun's blazing, bitches. And he's got like he was like choked
Big
or
ol'
something,
hickey.
or he got kissed
Yeah,
by
it
the
was
dog man.
supposed to be a bruise, but
Yeah.
it looks like a potato.
A big hickey from the dog man.
Mm-hmm. And now her character is like, I'm gonna head out and try to find out what happened to him.
Yeah.
And so she's a strong woman, so she's gonna head out and check things out.
I'll be back, she said.
I'll be back. You should never say that in a horror movie. I'll be
Reviews.
back, but we wrote that
Mhm.
because we
Good
had
thing
to.
it's a drama.
I think
Good
we
thing-
did the Monty Python running over the hill scene there too.
Yeah. And of course, she comes upon the same glade where he encountered. But there's no dog house back there. What the hell?
Yeah.
It was right there a
It'd be
minute
behind
ago.
her. It'd be behind her.
Exactly, it'd be in that to the left there.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and here we got a nice little shaky cam of Jay going through the woods.
Mhm.
She's like hearing things.
It just happened perfectly that there was a deer run that went through the whole area to make a little
Mhm.
trail.
Hence ticks.
Mhm.
And I can't remember what she sees his footprint. So
Yeah, the boots. Those were boot
Yeah.
prints.
So she knows that he went this way. So she's like trying to track through this same patch of woods that
Yep.
we've been using forever. And there you can see it's the
And
same
then-
thread, but just like from a different angle.
Gosh, now that you mention it.
Right? It is. Like
Like I see that same.
yeah. And this is supposed to be like dark wood. So you see like there's some blood there or whatever. So like some of these scenes work out pretty nice. And, you know, and she comes across the possum. And okay, so here she's supposed to take a look at the possum and finds
Human
that it's
teeth marks?
human teeth marks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why she reacts so crazily here. And I don't know if we were able to do this or not. Let's see if I don't remember.
I remember.
I think we were missing a shot because she is like, what? But I don't think. Yeah, I don't have a shot there to show.
Right.
So I think
It
we
would have
just
been a close up of it.
Yeah, that was the intent. So there were some shots that we could not get, and so it is what it is.
We'll do it in post.
Yeah. I'll send Jay out to get all those pickups.
Go bite that, Jay.
Go bite it.
Film
Use your teeth.
Bite it.
Bite that dead possums.
It was actually just
Yeah.
Twizzler on the inside.
And then like,
Oh, it was really hot this day.
she's
and that
like, wake
hot-
up.
Ugh.
All right, here we
Oh my
go
God.
into Alice in Wonderland bullshit. So
Mhm.
she's like, wake up, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to go get the Jeep started.
He's like sweating under that sleeping bag. Ugh.
Yeah, poor John. She gets in. We get the classic scene where the car won't start. And what do you do when the car won't start? You freak the fuck out.
That's right.
Actually, she, in any horror movie, they would have overdone it. And she's she knows what she's doing. So she's like, oh, son of a bitch. And here again, a shot that we did not pick up was the
missing spark plug, wasn't it?
Missing battery.
Missing battery.
Oh, battery.
What the fuck, John? And so why did we shoot her on the right? Like, she should have been framed left, right? Because he's on the right and she's on the left. But for some reason, we put her on the right. I don't know why. Yeah. I have no clue why. Yeah, there he goes. There he goes.
The best scene.
Did he do his run?
Yeah, he ran.
No, he didn't do the dog run that he committed to in another take.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the blooper.
That's so cool. Okay.
And here she
is.
This
was fun.
Yeah, look at Jay's actually running with the Steadicam. It looks great.
Nice.
It's got a real drifty Halloween feel.
It's actually the best spot it worked out too.
Mm-hmm. And then he screams.
It cost about $11 to make it. So
here we go. Nice. Yep. Sam. That's the character's name.
It looks really good like that too.
Sort of like Pam. Pam.
How clear that is.
He screams again, and she goes running into the bushes, and we stay back. And then she finds him in the clearing with Brian's latest contraption.
Yay!
Nice. Oh, that looks gross.
Yeah, it's a dog trap or a bear trap, I guess.
Bear trap. Yeah, not a bear trap, but it's a small game trap.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is supposed to be Ian's trap, right?
And honestly, these guys with their grunts and groans, they really sell the scene, and it's
they did. They
it's
did
actually
a great job with it.
Quite effective and painful to watch. And of course, he's freaking out, hyperventilating, and she has some first aid shit, and she's like, "I got some alcohol here that's going to help with that."
Oh.
But he's all ripped to shreds. She's like, "This is going to hurt."
Oh, you timed that perfectly.
It was good.
And he yells like a motherfucker too.
I wish he would have got.
Oh yeah, he did.
Of that.
Boom, and he passed out,
pouring onto the wound.
Yeah, that was actually an effective scene. I quite like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like we tried not to shoot the trap too closely because it was made of what was it, Brian? And
it was steel, but then so it wouldn't hurt anybody. The teeth were actually just rounded Luan.
Yeah,
well sanded rounded Luan.
And they some of them start to fall off. So
yeah, because they were hot glued on, and then it was 9,000 degrees outside. It all melted.
We had to be very careful about how we shot it.
Yeah.
This perfect little clearing we had for
but
the
actually
the
had
dark
a
little
real one,
overhang,
which is good.
Yeah, I think Brian actually helped clear this out a bit so that we had a place to.
Which is great.
Yeah,
the lighting difference there too.
In the shade.
Yeah, in the shade, and where we could shoot and get some good stuff. It worked out. Worked out nice. Yeah,
He's also now got someone to take care of again.
Yeah, Tulia, the wound, and then we did the snap. Real. So we Brian. Right. I think Brian actually threw the stone, right?
Yeah.
So we set the trap, and Brian threw the stone. It was supposed to be a supernatural thing where it snaps on its own.
Yeah.
And I cut it in a way that you don't see the stone.
One trap was real. One trap, I made a separate trap that was fake.
Yeah.
So don't think we actually put his foot in the real trap.
No, we did.
We did. We did. Yeah, he's no longer alive, by the way.
It's called method acting, buddy. Get used to it.
He's actually dead throughout this whole.
He's dead. Right yeah. Hey, that's my igloo cooler. I still have that in the shed.
Zombies don't drink water.
Yeah, what are you doing? And he's bleeding, and he pukes a little bit because he's nauseous. Doesn't feel so good. I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark.
He's aqua intolerant.
Mm-hmm. And the bandage bit we didn't look very good, at least in the wide shots.
Well, it's also something that she put on him. She's not a nurse or doctor. So.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, in the close-ups, there's blood. In the wide shots, there's no
I
blood.
see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
So it sort of didn't make sense, but I don't think it's that noticeable, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, he
Scratches
like,
on his face got bigger.
Yeah. She's like, "Oh, you're dead." No, just sleeping. All right, now she's I don't know what she's doing now. Oh, she's getting something from she's gonna try call for help. So
right.
She goes and tries to turn on my old Samsung phone, and where you can pop the back off real easy and find out that the battery is missing. So like he's taking all the batteries because he wants to stay there and finish this whatever. And she's she's actually crying onto the back of the thing.
I love that smile. That
was a great Dr. Grinch smile,
right? But that wasn't actually tears. We just dripped a couple things of water on there.
Oh, you didn't make her cry?
Yeah, it's like, cry, damn it. Your dog died.
We're not leaving until you do.
It was the scene from Airplane.
So now she's like hiking for help. She's like, stay there. I'll be back. I'm hiking to town. And so this was supposed to be a scene where, she's in the deep woods, which now it's an open track. She hears some noises and whispering. And then large trees, huge trees, fall in front of her to block her path.
How would we have done that, though?
Dude, I don't know. You write it. You don't care about how it gets done. Yeah. She discovers the bloody dog chain and whatever you call that, spike.
Mm-hmm.
And like she can tell like somebody's fucking with her at this point. And then she's like, okay, but there's a huge tree. Huge tree couldn't possibly get over that.
It's like the Evil Dead shelf. No,
no, God. And then she hears somebody say his name. And that freaks her out enough that she wants to get the heck back. Maybe she fell down nicely. So and then keeps running. So there's another tree. Oh God. So stupid.
We're sitting there throwing branches at
All right, so this is the turnaround. So she's like, we gotta get out of here. He's like, why? She's like, it's gonna be dark soon. He's like, what are you talking about? It's already dark. And then boom, she looks outside. It's dark.
Oh yeah, this is at my parents' house in Lake Odessa. We actually built a really nice fire, and I dug a really deep pit, a very deep pit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Reading my novel, of course, because why wouldn't you?
Mm-hmm.
She checks his ankle. Nothing's wrong with it. He's like, what are you talking about? And they hear, Aroo, the dog man.
The werewolf of dog man.
Werewolf of dog. And this is actually night that we're shooting in, so it does look quite dark. She does have large, expressive eyes, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
So you can kind of get a little bit of that. He's like, I gotta go. See ya. Laters.
Doing my thing.
And of course, she's like, what the fuck is happening? Because just a minute ago, it was daylight. And now we're out in the dark.
I had to keep my parents' house out of the shot.
Yeah. Good luck.
Because it's literally right. You can see the deck there for a second.
Yeah. And he's like, there he is. There's the dog man. Right there. And she looks with her large, expressive eyes and just says, I don't see it. And now she's like,
but do you?
Oh, now you do. And Brian, did you make that mask?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is the dog man. And who is that? Daniel?
Dan Parker.
Dan Parker.
One of my good friends that I did photo shoots with before this.
Tall, skinny.
Yeah, he made an excellent...
very good, creepy dog man. And then we get...
You painted him blue, didn't you?
Yeah.
From like the shoulders or from the shoulders up, I think. Something like that.
And then there he is. He's just a shadow. You barely see him, actually. And then he lunges towards her. Rah! She screams, and it's the next day. Beautiful shot, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Mhm. I love that shot right there. That's gorgeous.
Nice
So,
B-roll.
This is sort of like, it's a beautiful morning. Everything's perfectly fine. She wakes up. Her nails are painted red. She has blood smeared under her nails.
And in her cuticles.
And supposedly on her lips, too. I don't know if that comes through or not. She's supposed to have a little bit on her lips and teeth.
Side of her mouth.
Yeah.
Her hand actually looks like a claw because of the shape of her nails.
Yeah.
It does. That's
and
cool.
she's actually topless here. She insisted upon it.
Mm-hmm.
It was written that way, but we didn't want to force anybody to do anything they didn't want to do, and she insisted upon it. So
it makes sense, though,
you know,
if it's the transition.
She throws up here, and we were supposed to get a close-up shot of like teeth or something in the puke or hair. There was supposed to be something.
Got you.
And she sees the tent flap open. And
smelling it, isn't
here's
she
somebody
something?
Here's somebody coming. And there's Ian.
What
hey lady,
shit?
you okay?
Lady.
And he's like noticing like something's wrong, but then he sees the tent flap and he sees what's inside. A dismembered hand, arm, whatever.
Yeah.
And then here she is growling at him. So
Love
now
those
she has
eyes.
become the dog man, sort of, whatever, dog person. And that's it. And then we had some B-roll things that we had them.
Goofy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the movie, guys.
That's the movie.
That's the movie.
Fisher, that's what it was.
And just, so everybody knows that this took, I would say, 4 to 5 years to make, to actually get it in a semi-presentable shape, because of this, and I'm saying from the moment that I heard the story to actually creating the script, to getting all the people together, to shooting it and finding out that we didn't know what we were doing, going back and then reshooting things, and then just basically
for not divorcing Jeremy.
Yeah, exactly. Jesse Gren was the bartender who actually sparked the idea. It was very nice. And so that was copyright 2016 is actually when I produced this particular version of it. Oh, and then we have a stinger. Sorry, guys. Don't want to bump the thing here. So you'll see this is a repeat of the earlier scene that we saw at the beginning of the movie, where Lisa's character visits
Mitsubishi Eclipse, baby.
Hey, there's actually a key in there this time.
Yeah.
The last time we shot this, there was not a key in the slot.
Okay. And so, so we did this in black and white because I thought it'd make a nice bookend to the beginning where Ian's running around in black and white. And of course she goes and we, if you remember, we never saw the grave that she was visiting.
Yes.
We just knew, and because we know what we know, we assumed it was the grave of their baby.
Right.
That was the whole setup. But in this case, we see that the grave is actually, we'll find out here in a second, that of her husband.
Bum, bum, bum.
Dum, bum, dum.
And we'll get a little, so she doesn't see the dog man thing this time. And there she sees Elliot Samson, on my birthday, died. Or I guess he was born then. And then she begins to sort of laugh. And I think, did I overprint? Yeah, a little bit of the dog man there. No, maybe. Yep, there we go. So that is the dog man silhouette, I guess you would say.
And that's VLC player.
And that's that. Yeah. So that is, I'll just get that on there. Beep. So we can pause on that. That is our movie. Like I said, it took quite a few years. I think we started this in, I don't know. When did I start writing it? Like in 2012, I think.
Oh man, I'm trying to remember when you did.
So about 10 years ago. And I used Power Director as my first editing thing. I actually produced a complete version in Power Director, but that particular software was not powerful enough to do what I wanted. So then I moved on to Adobe and started really digging into Adobe, mastered that, and started playing around with After Effects and all kinds of cool stuff. And then finally, the biggest hurdle, obviously, notwithstanding everything you saw here, which there was plenty that was problematic, and also it just sort of doesn't flow. But it is the sound that is the killer.
Yeah.
And I've monkeyed with several different programs. I tapped people who know better than I do to try to figure things out. And the bottom line is, what we recorded just isn't great. And I could go through the process of ADR, having people record things separately, and then try to implant that. And and it's gotten to the point where it's sort of like, this isn't ever going to see a theatrical release or even like a Tubi release,
Right.
But it is what it is. Yeah, we love it because it's we remember what we did for it, and we remember the experience of it. And I have to say, actually shooting the damn thing was one of the most fun things I've ever done.
Yeah, it was fun.
Writing was tedious. Planning and all that stuff was rough. Deciduous too, Electric Boogaloo. Yeah, if I for whatever reason at the time I was dead set against, no pun intended, doing some sort of like Evil Dead thing, like where it was all just like blood and guts and monsters and stuff. But I kind of wish now that we had really leaned into that, because it is too much of a drama even for my tastes. But I'm older now, so I can say that.
It is what it is.
Yeah, it is. I think I want to thank, obviously, everybody who was involved with this. Ian, thank you for your participation.
Absolutely.
Brian, obviously, you did a great job on selling some of those special effects. Amazing. And Justin, your camera work is unparalleled. I so appreciate all of the help that I got with this. So it was a blast.
And Jeremy, your sound work was.
Mm-hmm.
It was sound work.
It was sound work. Yes, it was something. So thanks guys I hope you enjoy this. We're just trying to do like some different stuff between on Wednesdays to fill in the gaps for our podcast when we usually stream. And I came up with this idea. I dreamed it one night, and I was like, oh, the next morning, fuck, let's do this. And I thought it was high time that we provided some sort of commentary. So I hope you enjoy this. I will post, obviously, in the future as to where you can find this, the actual film to watch if you want to watch it. But otherwise, we're going to say good night, and we really appreciate you sitting by us. So yeah, Bad Banfa, Ian, Matt, that one weird kid, Tulia is out there, Crocy is out there. Let's see, Enyo I saw is in there. I swing a bit more. What's up, Chris? So I appreciate everybody tuning in for this. Everybody. And we'll talk to you later. Bye.
Good night.